Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to another Life with Myst video. I thought this week we'd talk about games because that's what I just finished doing. I just finished streaming the game show. So every June, they do Summer Game Fest, Future Game Show, some indie game shows, and the Xbox Showcase, as well as the PC gaming show. And then at the beginning of the week before Game Fest technically started. And then also, while it's not really part of the showcases, PlayStation did do their state of play at the beginning of the week. The game shows were, I'm just gonna say, it was good, but if a lot of them weren't, all in all, my favorite one that happened this year for summer showcase was Xbox. I think Xbox did amazing compared to all the rest. The state of play was kind of mediocre. Like, I can't even really think of any games that interested me during that. So I would say that makes it pretty mediocre. Summer Game Fest, there was definitely a couple. One major one that stands out is, of course, the new God of War. There's a little hate surrounding it. I can't blame people for the hate, but I'm also not on the hate wagon, but I do believe that it probably would have went better if they had just left the God of War out and called it Goddess of War, or just called it her name. For those that don't know, it's about Faye. So that caused a lot of drama because, everyone expects Kratos to be in it, right? And he should. It is called God of War. And I think realistically, I see nothing wrong with them doing a game where you're touching base on some other characters. And I think her story is actually a pretty good one because she's, one of his wives, but they share a kid together. And she is the one that you burn in the 2016 God of War. I think that one came out in 2016. Yeah, pretty sure. And so it really follows that. I feel cold enough. I'm gonna turn off the AC. So yeah, I think they should just named it differently. So it's getting a bit of hate, at the moment. I think that will definitely die down, and by the time it releases, there'll still be people that mock it for that, but I think the amount of hate will be less around then. It'll still sell well. It's God of War. Anything that holds on to a very popular title sells well, whether it's good or bad. Yeah. Plus, things just like absolute garbage games sell well now. The thing is, back in the day, you needed a game to be good to really sell well, get other people to play it. But we're in the land of streamers now, and people buy garbage games just to play them on stream, just to say they played the game. And because of that, that's why we get sequels to like these garbage games, these games that shouldn't even have sequels. God of War is not one of those, but I'm just saying there are some games out there that should have never seen a second game in their lifetime, but they did because it sold well. And that doesn't mean it's a good game. That just means it sold well. And a lot of the time it's because, it really is streamers. It really is, because there's a lot of us. And if everyone is playing every new game all the time, yeah, a lot of people do play every new game. And so you got a lot of people buying shit games just for the fun of it, and they're just writing it off because, it's careers. And So it's really like, you know, it's really, I don't know how to word it. It's like, I'm sure some of those devs know that they sold a crappy product too, but yeah. So the point of this ramble is that God of War will the next game for God of War will and I'll put it on screen here. It will do good whether it's good or bad. I personally, after watching the trailer, is it a game I asked for? Hell no. I never thought about like Faye as, I've I wasn't like, "Oh, we need to see her story." I always really liked Kratos, so, to me God of War is Kratos. But it's being made and it kind of looks okay. There are some weird aspects with it, but I think it looks good enough to spend some money on it and, play it. Yeah. So that's my thought. Definitely not everyone else's thought. A lot of people are saying they're not going to buy it. There's a lot of people that don't want to play, a game where a girl is the main character. And me, I don't care about that stuff. I am an old school gamer. I started gaming in the 80s. So with that said, and for those that are maybe new and didn't know, uh, girls weren't main characters. Like every game you played back then, you were basically a guy. So I got used to playing a guy character. So that's probably why, like, even in a lot of my games, um, I do sometimes still choose a guy over a girl when it is an option. And it's because it's not that I don't want a character that resembles me, but guys are just more badass, and I enjoy playing guy characters more than I enjoy playing girl characters because they're buff, they're big, and as long as you don't get some scrawny guy. But I like picking like the buff, the guys that look like they spend fucking every day out in the gym lifting mega weights, and that's because they look like they belong in the battlefield, like, yeah, they look like they would actually survive. And it makes it, games are a fantasy world, but it makes it a little realistic too when you can see a strong guy out there fighting his ass off. So nothing against the girl characters. But yeah, but that doesn't mean I don't play girl characters once in a while. In the next God of War, you have no choice. She is the only character. But what I was saying when we watched the reveal of that, I was saying that it would be cool if they did it like they did with Witcher 3. For those that haven't played Witcher 3, one, awesome game. I have 200 hours in that game. It is so good. I could easily put more hours into it as well. But point of this is that there is a section in Witcher 3 where you can choose. Well, you don't even choose. There's a section where you meet up with Ciri, and so you stop playing The Witcher and you start playing her. And it's just a short little moment, but it's cool. And I think I think that should exist in this God of War game. I think there should at least be a time where you can control Kratos, whether it be through like some memories of hers or something. I think he should have more than just a cameo in the game because at the end of the day, God of War is all about him. And yeah, but once again, not on the hate wagon. I'm just, I'm capable of having opinions without getting mad. so, so yeah. So that's my thought on the God of War. So that was one of the games that was announced. Uh, I'm just gonna I got it in front of me. I wrote all the games that I'm interested in. So I'm just gonna tell you like the top picks. There is 6 games that I really want to play. And so I'm gonna let you know what those games are. Okay, so God of War is actually one of them. You know, even although it's not Kratos, I will still check it out and play it. Um, it is not my most hyped though. I'll tell you what let's say 2. I have 2 games I'm really hyped for that are coming out soon. Soon being, you know, end of this year, some will be next year. The first one, Halloween. I have ever since they revealed it last year, which we got pretty much no gameplay for, but last year they had kind of given us a quick glance at it. I was super excited for it. I really thought it was playing like a Friday the 13th when we saw it last year. So this year, when they showed us more, it is actually its own game. It is a playthrough, and I am even more excited about that. I love the idea of a Halloween playthrough rather than, you know, a Halloween could easily be in the space of games like Friday the 13th and Dead by Daylight. And, you know, you choose the killer or you choose the survivor and you group up with friends and play. It could easily survive an environment like that. But you know, as a single player myself, I love that it is actually its own game, and there'll be, you know, we all know the story. But yeah, that is my most hyped. For those that don't know me, Halloween. I basically have 2 top, like at the very top of my list of favorite movies. One's Back to the Future, the other is Halloween. So yeah, there is a lot more. There's a lot more to that list, but those are the top 2. Those are like my favorite first 2 movies. So very hyped for Halloween. And that one's coming soon. That one's like September of this year. So I'm surprised they didn't decide to do an October release for that one, but September's close. So yeah. So that we're definitely going to play this year. And then the other one, so that's number 1 hyped game. The second top hyped game that I'm interested in is Alien Isolation 2. Yeah, I loved Alien Isolation. It is on my YouTube channel if you ever want to go back to a glimpse of Myst of Darkness, you know, back in the early days, because when I streamed that game, I'd only been a streamer for a year. So yeah, it was very early in. I wasn't really, this channel didn't exist, the cooking channel didn't exist, and the YouTube channel was a hobby channel, like the gaming YouTube channel. Yeah, I wasn't serious with it. I was like legit a streamer. Yeah, like yeah. I just stream. I didn't even edit, you know. After a while, I did grab some. Luckily, it exists on YouTube because I did decide to clip it and put it into videos. So it is around that time when I decided to start doing that. Not all my playthroughs that were streamed made the cut, you know? Yeah. There was a long time there where I just streamed and didn't think about clipping videos or editing. And yeah, so it is on the channel. I loved that game. It was so fun. It was honestly a really good time in stream time too. You know, right now is a great time in stream too. I know I say like I do reminisce on some of the older days a lot of the time, but I just want to let you guys know that I'm really happy with how streams are going lately as well. There's more people coming in, more people being chatty, and I love that. So that's great, because that is why I loved those streams back in the day too, was because a lot of people enjoyed the playthroughs and people would come in and chit chat, and at the end of the day, that's why I stream. If people aren't talking to me, I could easily just record it off stream and not feel the need to sit there consistently. So yeah, definitely gonna play Alien Isolation 2. That is a great one. Hellraiser was announced, and that one looks amazing. Yeah, I am definitely gonna play that one when it comes out. Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to think, has Hellraiser ever had a game before? I don't know. But it'll be the first Hellraiser game I play. Another one that I've known about for a few years, but we got more info on it this year, and that is Fable. So Fable is, getting remade or remastered. Yeah, I don't know if they're adding new things in. It's, that's the difference between like remake and remastered, just for those that maybe aren't too familiar. A remaster is, exactly the same, better graphics type deal. A remake is where you change some stuff. So yeah, I'm not totally sure if they're adding in some new stuff. But I love Fable, and I'm definitely looking forward for that one. Yeah. Tomb Raider Atlantis. I'm looking very forward to that one. I love the Tomb Raider games. And honestly, earlier today when we were watching the show, I was saying to one of my viewers, and we played Tomb Raider kind of together but separate. Tomb Raider's a single player game, so you can't bring friends into it, but we played it at the same time, so he had his playthrough and I had mine, and we loved Tomb Raider. So he was in the chat, and I said, I'm like, is that the last one that released? Like, have I missed a Tomb Raider? And yeah, it's the last one that released. Like, I watch these shows every year, so I was pretty sure that was the case, or else I wouldn't known. But it's kind of crazy that the last Tomb Raider game that was new, and not just like a Tomb Raider remake or something, but the last Tomb Raider game was the 2018 one, and that's just crazy. It's been so long. So yeah, it'll be nice to play another Tomb Raider game for sure. And then the other one, and this is the last one I'm going to mention, is Stuntman Hollywood. That one looked so good. It's basically, I like to describe it as, and you might not know this game if you're not an old time gamer, but it was my favorite game back in like the early 2000s. But Destruction Derby. So it feels like a Destruction Derby game with, like, you're a stunt driver in it. So you're a stunt driver in these popular movies, right? Like, there's the DeLorean in there. There's the car from Death Race, and some others. Those are the two that really kind of like, I noticed right away. But yeah. And for those that didn't play Destruction Derby was a game where it was all about crashing. Yeah. Like, nowadays, the point is that you stay on track and you don't run into cars and you win. Yeah. But back then, like, Destruction Derby was a points game. You crashed, you did flips, and yeah, you racked up points. And yeah, it gave me that kind of vibe. There's no point system as far as I know, but there's crashes. So yeah. So it it sort of gave me that vibe. One that I'd like to just kind of quickly add. I know I said that was the last one, but there's one that just kind of came to mind. And that is Crazy Taxi. There's a new one coming out, and I loved Crazy Taxi. That is one of my old school games that I played a lot of. And yeah, so they're making a new Crazy Taxi, and it looks amazing. Yeah, it looked really good. And that's like my top list. There was other games, but the other ones, yeah, we can't leave Xbox out of the mix. Yeah, Gears of War E-Day looks amazing. It's an Xbox exclusive, which I recently found out because, okay, so it's an Xbox exclusive, but I went to add because when I watch these shows, I grab paper, I grab my paper, my pencil, or my pen, and I write them down as we watch them. And so at the end, when I ended stream, I went to my Steam and I started, putting them in my wish list. And I saw that Gears of War was on Steam. And I was really surprised by this because Xbox advertised it as an exclusive for Xbox. And so I did some Googling, and that's when I discovered that console exclusives don't mean the same thing they used to mean. Yeah, console exclusives back in the day meant that you go out and buy that console if you want to play it. But because Xbox is PC now, an Xbox exclusive is Xbox plus PC exclusive, right? Because it's on Steam. They could have had it on the PC Xbox app and not Steam, right? But it's full PC, right? So I found that interesting. Today was the day when I learned that the real meaning of console exclusives nowadays is that it won't be on another console, right? It won't be on another console, but it will be on the PC and the Xbox. So yeah, and yeah, so Xbox actually lost out, kind of, because I'll tell you straight out, and you're gonna think I'm crazy for this, but I love Gears of War, and so I haven't really upgraded my Xbox in a while. So when they said Xbox exclusive, yeah, I immediately went to, an electronics store, online. I didn't like run out of the house or anything, but I went online shopping. I was going to buy a new Xbox. And then 10 minutes later, luckily I wasn't gonna buy it for at least a week anyway, but 10 minutes later is when I found out that you don't need it on the console. And that right there is why exclusive should be console. I get that Xbox is also PC now, but that right there, they just lost out on $800 because that's how much it would cost me as a Canadian to buy the Xbox S or whatever it is now. Actually, it was the X I was looking at, and I don't like digital, so it was actually the more expensive one because I like disc. Yeah. And yeah, so they literally lost out on $800 because I found out I could just play it on Steam. Yeah. So, and I am the girl that will buy a console for one game. I am 100% that girl. I've done it multiple times. I've spent thousands of dollars doing that exact thing. And yeah. So I think, I'm just going to say, just random thought in this video right now that is why, game exclusives on console should mean what they always did. Yeah. So yeah, I'm still, amazed that the Xbox allows, the games be played on PC because, yeah, Yeah, it's like I'm a prime example right now. Like they, yeah, and that's just me. I'm sure a lot of people have done that same thing. Gone to find, there's a exclusive they want to play. They find out it can be played on PC and they don't buy the console, right? And then there was this Clockwork game that is also Xbox exclusive. Keep in mind that does mean Steam, Xbox plus PC, and yeah, and yeah, that's basically it. I'll show you the full. Like I got all the papers here. I'll show you the full list. So keep in mind, Alien Isolation 2 isn't written down, but this was the list for today. I don't know if that's going to come across upside down. Hopefully not. But this is the list that I wrote for. This was from the Xbox Showcase. This was the PC Showcase. They didn't have much. The PC Showcase kind of sucked. I can't show you the other paper because I wrote a couple of, content things on it. But the other paper has Atlantis, Stuntman, Hellraiser, God of War, Halloween, and Alien Isolation 2. And so those are all the games I wrote down. So it's a good chunk of a list. The PC one was a little unfortunate because it was a very, I made the comment while we were watching it that if it wasn't for indie games, the PC gaming show would not have a show. Like the PC gaming show was really bad this year, in my personal opinion. I remember a time when the PC gaming show used to be really good, and you want to know why it was really good? It's because it was the only PC show. Right now that there's all these other shows like the Future Gaming Show and Summer Game Fest does kind of advertise everything, PC consoles, all that. And PC gaming show is always the last show of the week. So by the time it airs, like they kind of have to do indie games at that point. They have to do games that haven't been announced. And the big ones are generally announced during the Xbox show and Summer Game Fest, which is like the first show that starts off everything. It's usually pretty mega and has some pretty big announcements in it. So yeah, I feel like we're at the point where maybe the PC gaming show should no longer be the last show of the week. Yeah. It just seems wrong for it to be the mediocre show because let's be real, like, if you're young, you don't know this, but PC gaming has been around for so fucking long, So it's kind of that one show that has history for like years before shows were a thing. They had their magazines and all that. So yeah, I really think they should be one of the best shows. And some years they are. But the problem, like I said, is now there's so many shows and they're the final show that, either they have to announce indie games that haven't been announced or they have to have some secrets. They have to know about games that none of these other shows know about so that they don't get announced before the Sunday at the end of the week. So yeah, that's my thought. And with that said, I think we will end it there. I didn't think I would make this a 30-minute video, me talking about what I thought of the gaming show. All in all, it wasn't horrible. I just think that most of them weren't great. But but the Xbox one was amazing. They showed gameplay of the Gears of War, and they're kind of going back to the beginning with it. You know, before all the shit goes down. And yeah, it looks really good. Looks really good. And yeah, and they showed off a new Halo as well. And yeah, and it's Xbox's 25th, which I thought they were on like 30, you know, like I feel like, you know, I feel like I know I have been with Xbox and PlayStation all my life, you know. But I guess because I'm older and I just always remember them being there, that I thought they were kind of closer to my age, you know? Like, yeah, I definitely thought they were older than they are. 25 seems like nothing, right? Like hell, World of Warcraft is 20, you know? Well, 21. So for Xbox to be 25, like that's what they labeled it, 25th anniversary, right? Like um yeah, there's no way, right? Like even thinking back on it, especially since I just talked about how WoW is 21. So there's no way, right? There's absolutely no way. Xbox has to be. They must have been talking about Gears of War. Maybe Gears of War is 25. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I will figure it out and I'll put it in the editing because there's no fucking way Xbox is only 25. Like, there's no way, right? There's absolutely no way. Because I was playing Xbox so long before World of Warcraft. And I've played World of Warcraft since day one, you know? But yeah, like, because I used to play Halo all the time with my friends. We'd do like the 4 screen and yeah, the split screen of 4, yeah. And yeah, and that was way before WoW. Like, you know, yeah, like Warcraft existed and stuff like that, but like World of Warcraft did not exist at that time. So I'm having a hard time believing. But that's what it said on the Xbox showcase today was 25th anniversary. But no, it had to be Gears of War. It had to be. Okay, anyway, I'm just arguing with myself on a camera. So so I think we'll put the verdict right over here, and we'll see who won, me, myself, or I. and yeah, and that's it for today's video. So I'm gonna go quickly edit this up. It is 9, so it is a late one, but I did have I don't usually stream on Sundays. I usually use them to edit videos, but it was game show week and Sunday is always Xbox and PC. So so we did a stream and yeah, but you guys will still get this. You should get it tonight. Yeah, it's 9. I'm gonna edit it right away. So have a great week, guys. It is another busy week coming up for me. I work night shift the next 2 days, and then it's actually my birthday this coming up week. I'll talk about the birthday in the next video on the next Sunday video. Because by then it will have happened, and I'll share some things, and yeah. So yeah, if you do want to check out, you know, if you do want to come say hi on my birthday and all that, gaming channel is always linked in the description. All my other channels are. So just go to the description of this video and check out the gaming channel link, and that's my main channel. And there'll be a stream over there. And yeah, and that'll be on Thursday. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know if you watched the gaming show. What are some games you're hyped for? There's always lots that they showcase. There was one that was shown at the Summer Game Fest. It was called Blood Message. It looks pretty good. Yeah. And yeah, so we'll probably, they've been showing off a little gameplay of that since they announced it at Summer Game Fest. So, and yeah, and I'm gonna go. So I'm gonna go before I drag this out another 20 minutes. So have a great one, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.